Russia and North Korea don't have to be in any kind of formal alliance to make matters worse for the rest of the world.
North Korean dictator Kim Jong-Un has arrived in the Russian port city of Vladivostok for an unprecedented meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The two leaders are thought to be meeting to speak about North Korea supplying weapons and ammunition to Russia as it flounders in Ukraine. Western intelligence services have been concerned about the possibility of the meeting as Russia becomes increasingly desperate for more weapons. Russia expert Keir Giles told The Sun that regardless of how the meeting plays out, it's likely to spell trouble for the West.
Whatever positive agreement they come to between themselves about exchanging North Korean arms for Russian support or energy or technology, it's going to be bad news for everywhere else, and they don't need to sign an alliance in order to do that.
The White House warned weeks ago that arms negotiations between North Korea and Russia were actively advancing, and the hermit country has been stockpiling weapons for decades. North Korean munitions are compatible with Russia's Soviet-style ones, meaning as Russia becomes increasingly desperate to restock its arsenal, the pariah state could provide a solution.
Russia has had to adapt its tactics to the fact that it hasn't got the limitless supplies of ammunition that it previously relied on. And we see that playing out in the way Russia is fighting on the front lines in Ukraine. Now, there are questions over just how much North Korea would actually be able to ship in a meaningful period if it were to try to replenish those stocks of old Soviet-style ammunition. But it will still eventually make a difference because Russia would be able to fight in the way that it's more accustomed to and more comfortable to. In a way, the fighting in Ukraine has been a battle of artillery, and in recent weeks and months, Ukraine has been having the upper hand. That could change if Russia once again has this saturation density of artillery shells to throw at Ukraine.
North Korea would benefit from the potential exchange of weapons as Russia could boost the country's dead economy.
If Russia provides energy or food, that will ease the pressure on North Korea and in turn make it easier for North Korea to threaten its neighbors.
With an estimated combined personal fortune of over 163 billion pounds, millions of soldiers, thousands of planes, warships, and tanks, as well as their combined nuclear resources, it could be a dangerous alliance. But one rogue player could benefit from the two countries colluding: China, which could exploit Russia's weaknesses to make the country more dependent on the CCP. And Xi Jinping could come out on top, as neither Putin nor Kim would want to form an alliance against China.
China has the huge luxury of being able to sit back and watch this conflict play out between Russia and Ukraine backed by the West, because whatever happens in that conflict, China can pick up the pieces afterwards. Russia becomes progressively weaker and more dependent on China. That's a long-term process that has just been accelerated by what's happening now. And meanwhile, China's other major competitor, the West, is also expending a lot of its military capacity in supporting Ukraine. So the party that can wait this out and look at what happens afterwards in terms of the outcome of this conflict, and that's China, has the advantage here.